We got to get to our Steve Kovach with the numbers for Apple. Steve.
Yeah, John, and shares are moving up. It's just a knockout quarter, really blowing away Wall Street's expectations here. Let me give you the numbers. EPS was a beat at $1.57. Street wanted to see $1.43. Revenue also a beat here. Really strong revenue quarter, $94.04 billion. Street wanted to see $89.53 billion. That, by the way, 10% year-over-year growth and the best quarterly year-over-year growth we've seen at Apple since the December 2021 quarter. iPhone also a beat. You were just talking about seeing growth there. That is up 13% to $44.58 billion for iPhone revenue. Street wanted to see $40.22 billion. Services also continuing that growth streak, $27.42 billion compared to the $26.8 billion expected. And China is back to growth, John. It's up 4% for the quarter to $15.37 billion. We see shares here reacting to this up about 2%. I'll send it back over to you.
All right. Thank you. Patrick Moorhead, let me get back to you on this. Look, I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk to you about as well. This kind of goes against the narrative, China being back to growth because AI is not built into iPhone Siri yet. There's all of this doom and gloom around the stock. It would popped a little bit initially, but it's modestly higher. What's your reaction to these numbers?
I'm very impressed. I didn't expect this. You are seeing, I mean, they have the killer brand in China. That's probably the biggest growth surprise that I'm seeing. I do think the temperament between the U.S. and China cooled off, and then it got really hot, and then it cooled off again. And we're at a period where the nationalistic China buy is still there, but not nearly to the extent that it was in the prior quarter. And I think, for me, it was puts and takes, right? You have the September launch coming up when typically the West pulls back. But then again, you had the fear of tariffs that people were talking about on social media that accelerated that. And it appears that the let's buy quickly based on potential tariffs and price increases overpowered everything else for the iPhone outside of China.
Interesting. Gil, do you see it the same way, especially given the beats across the board?
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of noise because of what Patrick just pointed to, which is there could have been some pull-in of demand. Let's not forget in China, we had a couple of quarters that were relatively weaker with inventory clearing. So that set us up well for this quarter. And between those two things, that could explain some of the surprise. But I would say it may not be a coincidence that this is the best stock react or the best iPhone results since end of 2021, because that's when we upgraded to iPhone 12, which was the last big upgrade. This iPhone may not be a huge leap forward, but it is the biggest upgrade since then. So maybe we are getting a little bit of the upgrade cycle beyond the noise. And by the way, the noise in China will continue because it is right in the crosshairs of the trade dispute between the U.S. and China, and it will continue to be there probably going forward.